Republicans have a major positive in that the president knows how to create a show that people want to watch on TV. So how will the party use that to their advantage? To discuss, let's bring in RNC national spokesperson Liz Harrington. Liz, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Liz, the DNC had a problem getting people last week. Despite COVID and people being stuck at home, ratings were way down. What are you guys doing to get people to tune in and pay attention to the president's message and what his second-term agenda would look like?
Right. Well, the Democrats certainly set a very low bar that we will exceed. We're going to bring a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. We're not just going to have taped speeches from weeks ago from Martha's Vineyard where you couldn't even bother to update the number of Americans' lives you were going to use as a political weapon like Michelle Obama did. We're going to have live, engaging speeches, and we're not just going to hear from the same old swamp politicians like we saw in the Democrats, and no wonder people tuned out because they had heard all those empty promises before. We're going to hear from real everyday Americans that have been affected for the positive under President Trump's leadership, under his agenda. We're going to hear real stories about what it means to put an America First agenda in action. We didn't hear a lot from Democrats about the results of their handiwork in Seattle, in Portland, in Chicago, in New York City. The list goes on. We're actually proud of our agenda. It's going to be forward-looking, it's going to be optimistic, and it's certainly going to be engaging.
So Liz, can I just ask you a quick question? When someone sees the list of speakers, right, and you've got Nikki Haley and Don Jr. and all this, are the regular everyday Americans that have benefited from President Trump's policies, are they kind of interspersed between speakers, or how do we, is it stuff that we'll find out tonight, or how is that going to work?
It's both. You'll hear from average everyday Americans about why they support the president. And you'll also hear some of the speeches in prime time as well, like Alice Johnson, who benefited from criminal justice reform and President Trump leading on that issue. You're also going to hear from everyday Americans on how they've really had the negative consequences of living under Democrat policies, under Democrat one-party rule. We're going to hear from the McCloskeys, who are under attack for simply exercising their fundamental rights in the Second Amendment. And so we're going to show this contrast about what's at stake in this election. It's freedom, it's keeping America great, or it's throwing that all aside, hiking everyone's taxes, attacking our founding principles, attacking the very founding principle of one nation under God and liberty and justice for all. That's what Democrats couldn't even bring themselves to say last week. And we see what they've done during this pandemic. They've politicized it. They've taken away power and control from families. They won't let you go to church or go to school or open up your business. And they've played politics while they let mobs take over their cities and let the law-abiding citizens suffer. We're going to show that contrast, and we're going to show we have a better way, an American way where we're proud of our country, and there's so much we can do in the future going forward.
You know, Liz, last week we saw Joe Biden make an appearance every night at the DNC. People made a big deal that Trump will make an appearance as well every night at the RNC. Is that going to be an actual speech? What are we expecting from him?
Well, President Trump did already address our convention in Charlotte during the roll call where we proudly renominated President Trump at the top of the ticket, gave a very engaging speech where it shows that contrast in the choices and what's at stake in this election. But we're also going to have nightly surprises between the 10 and 11 o'clock hours. It's going to be very exciting. We can't give away all the secrets, but it's going to be live. It's going to be fun. It's going to be engaging. And it's not going to be the same old swamp dwellers that we saw all throughout on the most boring poll-tested Zoom call you've ever witnessed at the DNC in their primetime programming. Ours is going to be real, it's authentic, it's going to be engaging, and it's going to show what's best about America and a country that we're so proud of.
Liz, before we go, is there like one, just between us, is there one maybe secret you could tell us that's going to happen tonight between the 10 and 11 o'clock hour?
You probably have more inside information than I do, Sean. No, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Honestly, you're not going to want to miss it because what's going to come across is that we love our country. And we have a lot of diverse voices in our party, but we all have one thing in common, and that's we love America.
All right, well, we're going to be tuning in. Good luck. Thank you for joining us.
You bet.
All right, still to come, we'll sit down with the executive producer from the 2012 and the 2016 Republican National Convention. We're going to ask him what it was like to work with President Trump and what he thinks of this new virtual world. Next.